Hey everybody, welcome back to Bottom Shelf Bar.
That's Connor.
That's Paul.
Connor, what are we drinking tonight?
Tonight we are trying none other than Dewar's Ilegal Smooth, or Illegal Smooth we'll call it, so I don't have to switch between languages every time I want to say what its name is. It is a 8-year aged Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey, which they then finish in mezcal barrels from Ilegal, the company, and supposedly that imparts it with just a little bit of that mezcal characteristic. So we're gonna find out what it tastes like and if you should buy it, because it is $20, which is still not quite bottom shelf, but it is somehow cheaper than Dewar's cheapest normal blend Scotch, which is their white label, which comes in at $22. So we're gonna try it and let you know if this is a bargain.
And this is It is interesting. I don't think this was intentional at all, but it is interesting that we're doing this almost on the heels of the Lagavulin Offerman edition, which was finished in Guinness casks. And that, of course, is a single malt Scotch, so it's much more challenging than a blended Scotch. So I'm pretty optimistic about this.
But now,
also, I love mezcal.
let's have shots.
Let's have shots.
I'm stealing your line.
Oh, it smells fruity.
It smells pretty good. Cheers me. Oh no, I spilled some. We'll have to lick it up. I'm thinking about it. I'm waiting for it to evolve, and it isn't evolving as much as I would expect. That being said, it does have a little bit of your standard Dewar's fruity notes. There's a little bit of pear, I think, in there.
I was gonna say this comes across almost like spicy pear.
Yeah,
I like the spice. It's very nice. That mezcal finish.
There's the smoke. I found it. Yeah.
Surprisingly, every element that I expected to be tasting is there in relatively equal proportions, which really threw me off.
Yeah, I would say this is nicely balanced. There is no single element of the flavor that's very potent and dominant, but it's a nice mixture of kind of a fruity flavor, a little tiny bit of maltiness that you'll see in a lot of scotches, and then they describe it as like a wisp of smokiness, and indeed it is, which is for me perfect because I don't particularly like smoke in my whiskey.
Yeah, to me, I really enjoyed it. This drinks to me like a fruitier mezcal, in that you get that pear from the Scotch almost immediately. It's like the first flavor note, and then to me that was followed almost immediately with mezcal spice.
Yes,
which is really nice. That's a good pairing.
Yeah. So now we're gonna pair it with some great value saltine and see how that goes. 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh no. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
There we go. Next up is a highball. Now we have a highball for testing purposes. It is 3/4 of an ounce of the Scotch and 2 ounces of club soda.
Yep.
You can also use ginger ale, as you probably know, which,
as you probably have heard me say multiple times.
Yes, arguably you should, but that's not what's in my fridge. So
ginger ale and some lemon is so good with whiskey, man.
Well, let's try this.
Interesting.
Preferred it by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get more woodiness, I would say, maybe a little bit more smoke somehow.
It's intensely fruity as well. Almost, this might sound weird, almost unpleasantly fruity.
Yeah, I don't know. We have not had a lot of good luck with highballs on this show, and this one isn't better than it was straight either.
I'm telling you, man, we gotta switch to ginger ale. Although I do think a soda highball to me is like one of the best ways to taste complexities in a whiskey, and it's what I like to do with whiskeys when I first get them, even though I never like it.
Yeah,
but I feel like it always gives me a better idea of how to use the whiskey. Mm-hmm. This is weird to me. This is like, I don't know, maybe we should have used equal parts soda water, but then that's definitely not a highball, so.
Yeah. You can do this if you want to explore what's in this blend, but honestly, I didn't particularly care for that.
Yeah, the mezcal notes were almost entirely gone, for one,
Yeah,
which was disappointing.
That too.
And it's just like woody fruit.
Yep. Woody
stone fruit.
Yeah. Well, on to the next, but first, crackers.
Whoa.
Nice. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
No! That was so close. Have you been practicing?
No. All right, it's time for another drink. All right, this is a Scotch Sour. It is 2 parts Scotch, 1 part lemon juice, and then half a part simple syrup. Some people say you should make a Scotch Sour with no simple syrup because the Scotch is sweetener enough by itself, but I don't buy that.
Yeah.
So
syrup adds mouthfeel, which is important.
Yeah, and it's also, sugar. So
yeah. Also, arguably, should be made with an egg white, but I'm allergic to those.
Yeah, so we can't really do that.
Whoa.
Interesting.
I feel like the mezcal comes through a lot more there.
It does.
And I'm not mad about it.
That is a very different flavor profile than it was by itself.
This is one of those things where, like, if I went to a bar and I ordered like a Scotch Sour and this is what I got, I'd be very weirded out but not upset.
Yeah.
But I'd be glad for the experience, but this is definitely not what I'd be thinking when I ordered a Scotch Sour.
Yeah, in the conventional sense, I don't think this is a Scotch Sour. That being said, or at least it's not what you would think it would be for if you ordered that, like Paul said. That being said, I think this is delicious. It's pretty fruity again, but it does have more of a mezcal characteristic to it. And it has, again, the smokiness is present without being overwhelming, and it adds a really nice dimension to everything.
Yeah, and I'm surprised because I feel like my experiences with mixing like mezcal and tequila with lemon have been poor. Typically, in my experience, they mix much better with lime. But this works pretty well. It's very abnormal, is what it is.
Yeah, it's very odd, but I really think that this is worth trying. And certainly, it's one way that I'll be using up the rest of this, because I have to drink it somehow.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I can't even think of like a food pairing. All I can think of if you have like barbecued meat and salad, like something in that regard, because like the smoky and fruity flavors are it's such a unique sour.
Yeah. I will say, I think that what Paul just described would be scrumptious.
Oh yeah, that'd pair with this really well, especially if you had almost like a fajita seasoned meat and you scorched it to like slight crispiness around the edges.
Bottom shelf kitchen.
I do be liking to cook.
Well, we're gonna pair it with a saltine, so we'll let you know how that goes. 3, 2, 1, here you go.
Oh my god, it was so close.
I got it again.
Mm.
One more. Go for it. Go for it.
So this is a Scotch sidecar, basically a standard sidecar, but we replaced the cognac with the Scotch, which mostly came to mind because the mezcal notes, in theory, should play extremely well with the triple sec. Obviously you use mezcals and margaritas and the like, so
We'll find out.
I'm excited.
Oh, it smells heavenly. It has a... This isn't gonna sound like a good first impression. It has a vaguely medicinal quality. That being said, I think this tastes pretty good.
I definitely don't think medicinal is necessarily... I think medicinal can sound negative to non-experienced drinkers. When you get into aperitifs and digestifs, like, they're all medicinal because that's how you make them.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a negative quality, but you're right that there's a little, there's a potency to it.
Yeah. That being said, I think... So we used Cointreau for this because we can now. we own Cointreau. And it works really well with it. It's almost a little too powerful for the Scotch because this isn't super bold. But I think it plays along well and it matches with the fruity flavors nicely. And then there's still just a tiny, tiny wisp of mezcal in here somewhere. It's
there's
in there
that.
somewhere.
There's a very small flavor profile of mezcal combining with the triple sec along with everything else. It's almost weird because it's like the lemon juice is complementing the Scotch, but the mezcal is complementing the Cointreau. So it's kind of like a weird, like a cross-hatching of complements.
Yeah.
It all works though.
It's a strange amalgamation, but it tastes really good. I think this is, out of the 3 drinks that we made with this, I think this is easily the best. And even if you don't have Cointreau, probably any triple sec, any liqueur that adds an orange flavor to it will work really nicely with this.
In fact, you might even prefer, a cheap, something like a DeCuper, like a cheaper one, mostly because Cointreau is 80 proof as well, whereas most other triple secs tend to be in the 30 to 40 proof range. And this does burn a slight bit more than I would look for in a cocktail. But it's tasty. It's very tasty.
Yeah, it's definitely not smooth like water, but it tastes really good. So we're going to eat another saltine in a very unconventional way, and then we'll give this a score.
Hands free, baby.
3, 2, 1, a go.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Hands free. Uh-oh.
Shout out to my mom.
Oh no! That's my first fall this entire time.
It skipped right across my tongue. I could taste it. The victory was so close I could taste it.
Well, there'll be a cut here. Alright, now we're going to give it a score. I am going to score it a little higher than I probably should because this plays really, really well into my personal preferences. It's fruity, it's relatively easy to drink, and then it has just a tiny little bit of smoke at the end. I think this is delicious, and I think it's a really good value, so I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
For me personally, it also lines up with a lot of what I like to drink. There's a little touch of spice, which I really enjoy. I do tend to like spicier liquors. For me, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. My biggest complaint being that while this is very tasty, it doesn't come through as well as I'd like on a lot of the drinks. Even that last one, the sidecar, it was buried more than I'd have liked. So I'd just like to see something with a bolder Scotch flavor. Or mezcal flavor, either way.
Yeah, but either way, this is pretty good. I think for $20 you can definitely pick it up.
Oh yeah.
And that's the show. This has been Bottom Shelf Bar. I'm Connor.
I'm Paul.
And we'll see you in the next episode. As always, let us know if there's anything you want to see down below.
Next time we're trying Scotch finished in fish barrels.
Maybe. You'll never know until we do it. Peace out, everybody.
You wake up late for school and you don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no.